Hello. So this project is a multi-step directional project. So if you need me to come in, I will be more than happy to come in and help you set this up for your goal setting. And I'm going to walk you through the steps. It might be a longer video than normal just because there are so many steps to it. But again, if you want me to come in and help you, let me know and I will, because it is a lot of steps. So this is the end product. I wanted to kind of show you what you would get at the end. So the student's name would populate based on what they submit through the Google form and how you type everything up. And then for this one, I was using Pride points. So they have 8 total Pride points. And they need to reach 20 Pride points by this date to earn extra recess. It was just a template that I was working with for Tollgate Elementary or middle school. And this number right here will change based on when you send the email and how much points the students have. So every student would get their individual goal and they would have to meet it. So I could see this for ST Math or Freckle. You have to earn this many tokens or percentage syllabus progress in ST Math by this date to earn whatever. So I really do see this being used in other buildings, and I can also see this being used for behavior. Students could earn a total of so many points every day, and they need so many to get some type of reward. And students getting this email and seeing how much points they need by, I can really see them benefiting from. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create this. First, you need to get a Google form. You're going to want to put your Pride team. So your title of the form, this was called Pride Team. Your first name, have the students fill out their first name, fill out their last name, school email, today's date, homeroom teacher, and how many points. In order for this to work, and depending on what you're trying to do, it might look different. I would say you want the first name, last name, and email address, because if you do not have these, it will not send to the student. Another one, I just like to have the date. Homeroom teacher, this is probably optional for you. You probably will not need this section depending on what you're doing. And then how many points. So this is where you might put your syllabus progress, 5, 10, 15, to keep students up to date on their goals. Once you have your form set up, everything needs to be set up before you create your Google Sheet. You're going to go to responses and you're going to go ahead and click your green Google Sheet. So once you do that, it's going to pop up and everything's going to fill in just as it would as a normal Google form. In between B and C, or in between C and D, we're going to add another column to the right. So insert one right. In this box, we're going to call it unique name. The reason we're creating a unique name is because when students fill this out, if you have 2 Smiths, 2 of the same last names, your form will not work. So we're going to go ahead and put unique name equals, and we're going to type this formula in. And you're going to put a parentheses, and we want this to create their first name and their last name. So I want it to go from B to so go ahead and just click those 2 boxes and it's going to populate. And we're going to put another parentheses and your code should be good. So now when you click D2, it should say the formula and then it should say B2 is equal to C2. So this is going to combine their first and last name to make 1. Okay, so that step is done. The next thing I did, just because it was me, is I made this black and then I made it a little bit smaller because I wanted to organize my document to know that this information on the left is pulling from the Google form. And on the other side of this is the information that I'm going to need to create so that the email can be sent. So in this first box, J, I'm going to type first name. And then in K, I'm going to put last name. In this box, I'm going to type my name. You would type your student's name, but I would do your name first just to make sure it works and we can get all the glitches out of the system. So what I did is I just typed my first name and last name. You're going to have to type in your full list. If you have a Google Sheet with all of your students already typed in a spreadsheet, or have them fill out a Google form, like all the time when I taught, I had the students the first week of school, they filled out the Google form that just had common information that I knew I could always just copy and paste over. So if you have that, use that. I don't have a class, so I'm just going to use my name, but I would use your name first and then type every student name in, because you want to make sure it works for you first and we can get all the glitches out before then. And then in L, I'm going to do unique key this time. And again, I'm going to do the same formula. And then instead of CD like we did last time, I'm actually going to do JK. And then I'm going to put a parentheses, and that one's set up. So here you can see that my unique key is my name again. Okay. And then I also want to put email address in here. And I want it to look different than the email address over here. So I'm going to use Auto, because we're going to use Autocrat. So this lets me know that I need to send this to Autocrat. And you're just going to type the student's email in. Or for this case, I'm going to type my name in. You're probably going to want to do your name too. Again, I like to be organized, so I'm going to go ahead and make this like a different color, so I know that my information is being pulled somewhere else. Okay. So again, when you get your students list or it works, you're going to want to type them into J, K, and M. So you're going to add first names, last names, and the email addresses. As I type in, like let's say I do Kara Jackson, her unique key does not pop up. So what you're going to want to do is grab this little thing, drag it down. Now it does. So then she would be good. And again, I would have to type in her email address. And then you're good. So again, if I would type another teacher, so let's do Monica Markham, her unique key pops up, and I need to type in her email address, and it should be all good. So that's just how you do it. You just put in JK, unique key will pop up. Again, if you need it to come down, you need to drag the formula down. So just drag it like that, and all your unique keys will pop up. So that is so far the next step. Then I like to, again, I'm an organized monster. So let me add a couple more rows, because we're going to need a lot of more space. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So just insert one row right. I'm going to make this black again. Oh, not red. Let's do black. Not listening to me today. There we go. And then I just want it to look like that. That way I just stay organized and it's not a complete mess. And then I want to go to add-ons, and we're going to go to Autocrat, and I'm going to hit launch. It does take a little bit to load. And if you do not have this, you need to go to add-ons and get add-ons, and then just add Autocrat. So Autocrat is our mail merger. It's going to send these emails, these pretty certificates, goal setting documents to students. So I'm going to hit new job. I'm going to name it. So for this one, I'm just going to call it, original. But you could name it Pride, ST Math Goals, whatever you wanted to name it so it's organized for you. I'm going to do a template. So you just choose one from Drive. Let's go ahead and pause there for a minute on the Autocrat. You're going to want to make this before you do the Autocrat. So as you can see, I have these little carrots right here. Anything that you do not want to type and you want your Google form or your Google Sheet to pick up, you need to put that in. So as you can see, I put carrots. I don't want to type every student's name into a Google Doc. I want the computer to do that so I can save time and not have to worry about that. So you're going to put carrots. First name is what I'm pulling. Normally, in order for Autocrat to work, you want to just copy the column. So we're going to take J, and you're just going to paste it in here. So let me make a copy of this, actually. I don't want to ruin what I have for Kara done. Okay. So here I would just copy it, paste, and Autocrat's very, very picky. Like if there was a space after something, you must have it. And if you do not, it's very, very picky. And then I want to do the same thing for last name. And I'm going to worry about font in a minute. So again, I copy it. And then I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to go over here. I wanted it this blue color. And then I don't want a background. And I wanted it this one. And I think it was like, what was that? 30? Then 30. So any type of font you use, it's going to do the same as long as you do it on your Google Doc. Okay. So there we go, my first name. And as you can see, this one had a space, the other document did not. So if you do not have this space, it's not going to work. So that would be the first glitch to look for if you're not getting your first name onto the Google Docs that are being sent. That's why I say put yourself in first, make sure it works before you add the students and send it out to everybody. So you need to, it's a lot of prep work and you have to make sure. Okay, you have earned total points. So we'll go back to your Google slide. I wanted my total points, which we need to add a column. I actually forgot about that, so I'm glad we're doing this. Insert one right, and we're going to put total points earned. There you go, earned. And in this box, we actually have to do another formula. So we need to add total points earned, and then from here you need to add this formula. If K2, so if you have different columns than me, you need to really pay attention here. So if K2, this column right here, my last names are the same, we need to sum, so we need to add row D, which is my unique name. I want it to be the same as L2, so I want it to equal the same in D and L. Those two have to be the same. And then I want my points to add an H. So if your points are not in H and they're in G, you need to write G equals G here. So you need to be careful of if something is not the same, your formula might look different than mine does. So that's mine. Right now it's at 0 points. I went ahead and typed in 3 different student names in so we can just see. I'm going to go ahead and put, let's go ahead and type some of, like, let's say I filled out this Google form. Oh, that formula went away. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to type in my email, but I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it. And then let's say I earned 3 points. My 3 here is going to update. And then let's just say I got another 3 points another day. It should equal 6. So see how it's equaling 6 and I'm the same person. So once students fill out this Google form, this column is going to update with the total points that they've earned. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that for now because I'm going to fill out the Google form to show you what that's going to look like. So let's go ahead and go back to Autocrat. So your Google document or Google slide should be updated with what you want it to look like. Again, this is what's nice about this is anytime I update this, it's going to update to the email whenever I choose to send it. So whenever you update this, it's going to update. So if I wanted to change the prize to an ice cream party, I could get rid of extra recess and put ice cream party, and it's going to update in the emails that I send. So anytime you update this form, you would. And what I would do to save time is on here, just name it, and I would put extra recess. So if I ever wanted to go back to the extra recess for next year, I'd have it. And then if I wanted to do ice cream party, I could say this one said ice cream party. I could go here and add ice cream party. So that's what's nice about that. Okay. So then I'm going to go to add-ons. If you don't have Autocrat, you need to get it. I love Autocrat. It has saved me a ton of time by sending certificates to staff or emails. And it's loading. We're going to do a new job. And we're going to call this, I'm going to call it original. You could call it Pride Point, ST Math Goal, Personal Goal, whatever you wanted, just so you know the name. I'm going to go ahead and find my template. So find it. Mine is copy of Pride email, whatever you went ahead and named it. There it is. It should be popped up first, but sometimes it's not. And then you're going to wait for it to pop up here. So it does take a little bit in Autocrat to load things. But once it's good and set up, it's a pretty good program. Next. Okay, so this is where it gets kind of tricky. So I want, you have all these options. I want it to use the first name that's in this column right here. So that's kind of why I put this organized space to help me. I want it to pull the last name from this H or K. So I want it to pull J and K. So it's telling me the first name and the last name right here. And then total points, I want it to pull from M. So I'm going to go to total points earned. And it's all set up. So it's going to pull, anytime it sees carrots in your document, it's going to pull it over. Okay. So if you wanted to add the date and have a date on your email, you could. And you would just add that, and then you would just pick timestamp. It will pull any information that you want. So Autocrat is very awesome. Next. Now, file name. This is going to save into the Google Doc, Google Drive world. So you want to make sure you're very precise. So I like to just copy things over. I want it to have the student's first name. Oh, wrong button. So I'm going to do the carrots. First name, that way it would say Stephanie. Then I would want it to say my last name. So carrots again. Last name. And then I want it to say, I'm going to put original just because this is my sample. But you could put Pride points, whatever you wanted to do, so that way you can search for it very easily. If you wanted the last name first, you can do the last name before the first name. However you want to search, if you needed to search for it in your Google Drive. I also might put the date. So I would just copy this. There's the date. That way I know, hey, if I have a parent meeting, I can pull it up by the date. I want to save it as a PDF because I don't want students to edit it. If you do want students to edit it or give feedback on it, make it a Google Doc. However, in this case, I don't want it, so I'm going to do a PDF. I'm going to hit next. I do not want it going into this folder, so you're going to choose a folder. If you don't have a folder, you're going to want to make that now. So you're just going to go into your drive. I'm going to have it go into my test document folder because I've just been trying to do a lot of different things, and I'm going to put it in this folder. However, if you wanted to, just create a new folder, rename it, maybe Student Pride Points, and that's where it's going to put all of your things at, so that way it is organized. So there it goes. I want to get rid of this one, so I delete that folder, and now I just have that one folder. Next. We do not need to do this step, so we're going to hit next. We do want a merge conditional, and we want it for M. So whenever there is a point earned, we want it to make sure it's at least 1. If it's 0 points, we cannot send it, because if we don't, it's going to send all of your Google responses and students will get really confused. We only want it to send if it has total points earned column filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Just to make sure that saves, and then we'll have to go back in and edit. So let me go back in and edit. You can also hit next. I would hit next, but I accidentally hit saved. Next, and this kind of helps you check. I want to share this document, so you're going to hit yes. I want it to be a PDF because I do not want the students to edit. However, if you did, you could send that Google Doc, because you could put a place on here like give me feedback as to why you are at this or reflect back. But for this piece, I don't want to do that for now. But if you did, you could. And then email address, you're going to take it from in, and see how I put auto. I want to make sure that I just copy and paste it. That way I make sure that I don't make any mistakes, because sometimes if there's a space and I don't want to write it and type it without. So I'm going to send it to that email address. In the subject, I might put pride points for, and then I want to put their last name, their first name, and then I also want to put their last name. I forgot my carrots. And you could also put the date. I'm not going to, but you could. And then I just want to take this email, and I'm going to go copy and paste it. You could write your own email in here. However, I just want it to be the same. But you could change it up and write whatever you wanted. And then if you ever change this Google Doc to like ice cream, you would have to go back into Autocrat, edit, and change it here. So you could put congratulations, whatever, but whenever there's carrots, again, it's going to pull that information from your Google Doc. And then I'm going to hit next. I don't want it to run on a trigger. I want to send it. However, it's up to you, but eventually you are going to have to delete and resend it. And then hit save. And it's going to save the job. Again, it does take a while to save and set up, but once you're good, you should be good. You might just have to edit every once in a while. So edit. I do not want to hit play yet. When you hit play, it's going to run it. So it's going to run the whole job. So we don't want to do that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just exit out real quick. I'm going to delete Kara and Monica because I don't want them to receive a ton of emails from me. And one more thing that we have to do before we fill out the Google form and hit our play on Autocrat. You're going to go to add-ons again and go to copy down. If you do not have copy down, again, you're going to need to add this to your document. Oop. And I'm going to go copy down settings. So whenever students fill out a Google form, it creates like a new row for them. And we don't want to do that because it will lose our formula. So if we do copy down, it's going to copy all the formulas down for us, and we don't have to drag the little arrow every single time, which is really nice. So it's setting up. Actually, let's go ahead and fill out the Google form real quick. I think that's what it's trying to tell us to do. So I'm going to view it as a student. Let me go ahead and exit out of that real quick. Let's go ahead and fill it out as a student real quick. So I'm going to type in my first and last name. It has to be the same as you typed it in for the student. So if they go by a nickname and you typed in their full name, they need to type in their full name, or the form will not pick up their points. Okay. I'm going to say I earned 5 points today. Submit. And then we're going to go back to the Google form. Okay. Let me go ahead and just move this up real quick. Oh, undo. I don't want that to be black. I want this to be black. So as you can see, like when I filled out this form, it just made a new line. Oh, and this keeps going away because I deleted it. So you might have to recheck it in. That was my fault. Yours should still be there. I accidentally deleted that row that I was trying to show you something else in, and I forgot that I deleted the format. So you should be good. And then I just need to drag that down. Okay. So I've got everything. I got my first submission in. And So what I need to do is I need to go to add-ons, copy down, open settings, on, I had it. And I wanted to copy down all of my formulas, and then I'm going to hit save, and it did not work because, there we go, because I'm a click happy person. Okay, save settings. All right, and it should be working. Okay. So now this did not get my point. So now we have to figure out what happened. And it might have been I typed something in weird. Yep, so there. So I made a mistake. I think I probably had a capital where I wasn't supposed to in my name. And if you have that again, it won't work. So there I have got it perfectly. And my 5 points are totaling. So now if I do it again, it should add up my total points again. However, I'm having issues with my name, and I'm not sure how I typed it. So I need to double check that. Let's add 1 point, so then I'd have a total of 6. And see how everything's copying down. So that way I didn't have to drag anything. And again, I'm having issues with my name. Yep. So here, see how I have a lowercase. This is supposed to be a capital. So if students do that, their points will not count. So you have to be very careful with typing this in. So like you see, my 1 point did not get added to the list. So let's see if I change it. And now I've got 6 points. So it's working. So now let's go ahead and send these emails to myself, the total points, since I did it twice. So you're going to go back to add-ons, Autocrat, open. And you're just going to simply hit play. And this will let us know if all of our merge tags are lined up. Again, it does take a little bit for it to go through. Yep, hit run job. It's going to be running. And it's going to create, I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of this black, because I don't need that. It's going to go ahead and create your document. And if I did it correctly, this will be it. Again, it's a ton of steps. I completely understand. So if you need any help, please invite me in to your classroom, and I will help you set this up to meet what you need. And if not, we will figure out what formula we need for it to work. Okay, it looks like it was successfully sent. So then I'm going to go to my Gmail. Sometimes it does take a little bit for it to be sent. But if I click this document, this is nice too for parents if they ever meet. It tells me here's my total points, my name pulled over, and there's the points. So it did work. I'm just waiting for that email, and it does take a little bit, but this is what would be in the email. Maybe it's in my sent folder since I'm the one that sent it. Yeah, it's right here. So here it is. See how this did not work, which I'm glad it did, so I can show you. We need to fix that. So it looked like everything in my Google Doc worked, but for the last name and my total points here. So what you do when that happens is you go back here, you go to add-ons, Autocrat, open. And I like that it keeps a record because then you know what parents you need to email and ask about what's going on. Because you do have some parents that are asking about goal setting, and you can get your information right in the Google Doc. Hit edit. Next, that one's good. This was good. This was good. It was right here, our last name. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to try to figure out where we went wrong. Next. Oh, where was it? No, that was in the email part, I think. I think it was here. And then our total points was another issue, I think. And that's because it says it's capitalized, maybe. And then save. And then we're going to want to delete these. So anytime you want to resend your totals to students, you have to delete P, Q, R, and S, those columns that have your Autocrat merge. So I'm just going to delete. I'm going to hit play again. We're going to see if it worked. This is the only thing with Autocrat that's really annoying. So there it goes. It says it was sent. So again, I think it's because I am sending it that I might not. So it might be in your sent email. Sometimes it does pop up, but I don't know what's going on with this one. There we go. We fixed it. So my last name is now pulling over. And let's just double check. Everything's pulling over. So we are good. Okay. So then, there was one error. So then again, you would just go ahead and check, like, see my last name again in the subject. I need to put a space right here. I already know the issue. So you would just go into Autocrat again and fix it, resend it to yourself, make sure it's good before sending it out to staff. Okay. Again, if there's any questions, please invite me in, and I will be more than happy to come in and help you set this up. I know it's a lot of steps, very confusing, especially if your document does not look the same as mine. Then I can definitely help you. So there I go. I add that space and I should be good. So anytime I wanted to resend the total, so like let's say I go in, I'm submitting another response. And we'll see if my name fixed. What I would do, I didn't do this for Togi because there's 600 kids, but I would add all your students' name and they just click their first and last name. I would just copy and paste your Google Sheet. I would just copy this list down and paste it right into your first names, copy this down and paste it right into the next one is what I would honestly do. But I didn't do that for 600 kids. So, because it would take them forever to find their name. So let's go ahead and see if it populated. There it is. Again, it's not pulling my name, so I'm typing something in incorrectly. So I'm not sure where my error is, but that's something that I would need to look at. Again, it is really, really picky. So that time it's only picking up my 2. So let's go back. If that is the case, you can always copy and paste it over. So there's my 8 points. If I go again to Autocrat, open, and redo it, it's going to send me that email again. Again, it's in my sent email. I think it's because I'm the owner of this. However, your students will get an email to them. Okay, if you need any questions, again, let me know. I just found my error. I had a space after Hal, and that is why it was not picking up any of those names. So I went ahead and deleted it. And as you can see, I'm at 0 points. But if I go here and I'm going to delete that space, all my points will work. So now when I go in, so don't put a space after your last name. That was my own mistake, and I'm glad I learned that really quickly. So be careful with the spaces. Again, if you need help, just let me know. Thanks.